Hi there, I'm Larky, and I am new to Minecraft, or pretty new to Minecraft, but I have had several people ask me, hey, how did you build that thing? So I thought I would make a video explaining. Explaining what? These! These are giant sheep. They're based on a 1x1 pixel, and I thought it would be funny to make them and put my sheep inside. And it makes me happy every time I walk through and look at my sheep. If you feel the same way, I'd be happy to show you how to do it. The first thing you're going to need is some brown terracotta. You'll need white terracotta. Let me show you. You'll need the wool in the color that your sheep will be. You'll need some stained glass in that color if you choose to make the top clear like I have done. If you're going to have your sheep inside, you'll need some grass blocks. You'll need a door of some kind. I'm using Macaw's sliding glass door just because I happen to really like it, but it's a mod, so any vanilla one would be fine as well. You'll need white wool because their faces have white wool on them. You'll need pink concrete and pink terracotta for the mouths, and then you'll need black terracotta or concrete for the eyes and white concrete for the other part of their eye. You'll also need some kind of fencing if you intend to keep your sheep in there. You'll need lighting. Torches work just fine. If you're in a survival world, you'll definitely need lighting, but you'll also need it for the grass. And then you'll probably want some regular glass as well. I'll explain why as we go along. The first step is to, I'm going to put it 4 away, 1, 2, 3, 4, is to make a, did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, is to make a 4x4 square. And then you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and make another one for the other front foot. Okay, and then you'll go 6 back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the back foot. And over 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and once we have our feet in place and they line up, yay, they do, then we'll go in and we'll put in our white terracotta. Now I'm going to do the first leg, and then I'm going to go ahead and zip past that so that you don't have to watch me do the boring stuff. We're going to go up 4 so that you end up with a 4x4x4 leg. And then when you get ready to do the wool in your color, you're going to go, notice that they don't line up exactly. They are one larger. So where these were 4x4, these are 6x6 around. Oops. And that's going to go up 4. Well, a total of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to make your leg. Now, if you're in a survival world and you have hostile mobs that spawn, you're definitely going to want to do something inside here. Did I not count correctly? One, two, three, 4. Okay, that's right. Silly me. You're going to go into you're going to want to light the inside of each leg. Unless you're planning on using them actively for something, you can either fill them in or you can light them. Lighting is definitely the easiest option and the least time consuming. But take it from me, who learned in the survival mode that I first built these in, how upsetting it can be when you get a creeper in there or a zombie sitting there going when you're trying to play your game and you can't find the zombie because it's inside the leg of your sheep. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead now and finish the other legs so you don't have to watch that part because it's kind of boring to watch. Okay, now that we have 4 very brightly colored legs completed, we're going to go in and seal this all off. And you'll notice that on this first row, we're going to have a little derriere poking out here, a little backside for our lovely little sheep. The sheep are 14 blocks wide. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to close this area off. We want to make sure, even if you decide that you want to use the legs for something and you decide not to do this exactly the way that I do, you're going to definitely want to close off this middle section for your sheep so that the tummy of your sheep actually looks right. Because when you walk under there, you don't want it to be open, you want it to look like the bottom of your sheep. So you're definitely going to want to do that. And just like I did before, I'm going to go ahead and skip through the boring part of just shading all of this in, and I'll be back with you in just a moment. And here we are. We have the base of our little sheep all filled in, and if you go up underneath, you can see, again, if you're in survival and you have hostile mobs active, you're definitely going to want to light up down underneath here. I have chosen not to do that because I am on a passive survival world, creative world, because it makes my life easier when I'm doing stuff like this and testing out builds and so on. Now, for the body of the sheep, the upper part of the body of the sheep, we're going to go out 2 more from the base of the body. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in, because of the way that the sheep's body goes, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the 4 spaces, 2 on and 2 off. It will make more sense in a minute. Then we're going to go up for a total of 6 rows from the time that we moved to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can see that it's level with its friend next door. And then we're going to go over here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to go all the way back and do the same thing all the way around for a single row around. And I'm going to go ahead and skip that part because it's not very exciting to look at. Okay, now that I have the back and the sides of the sheep finished, we need to talk about accessing the sheep. Because if you put sheep in here, you're going to want a door so that you can do that. I have chosen to put my doors for the sheep on the side. But you may not choose to do that. My first set of doors were on the back of my sheep, like this. Which, once I saw the problem with that, I couldn't unsee the problem with that. And it kind of was hilarious, but it also bothered me. So I stopped doing that. And now I put them over here. If you choose to do yours the same way that I've done mine, you're going to want to leave a space that's not knocked out, because when you put the grass blocks in, you will need that extra little boost there. I have chosen to link all of my sheep so that I only have to build 1 stairway on each end usually, and that way I have room and I can take my sheep all the way across. You can of course do it however you like. It is your sheep and you can do what you want to with it. But that's what I do, and that's the reason that I do things that way. Okay, let's look at the front of our sheep. As you can see from my little purple friend here, the body comes out 2 over the base of the body, and then we go in 2 blocks and fill in 2 full blocks before we get into the head itself. And the head of the sheep is going to come out 2 more blocks. So we're going to go ahead. Oops, I went too far. We're going to go ahead and go all the way across with this first set. And then we're going to come out 2, for the front of the head. And the head goes up 3, 1, 2, 3, and it goes back 1, 2, 3. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. And that's why I went ahead, made a mistake. We fixed that. That's why I went ahead and filled in this section before, so that I wouldn't have to worry about it later, because I knew it was coming. You can fill this section in if you want to, or if you're in survival and you're trying to save wool, not. That, of course, is up to you. We're going to go ahead and do exactly the same thing on the other side. I have chosen, because of the way that the sheep's head sits, to go ahead and close all of this in. You could, of course, have the head be on top here and then have an open area down there. But for me, it made some weird shadows, and you and I both know that shadows in a survival world are not your friend, so I went ahead and closed that off and just made it solid. It didn't really affect my sheep all that much to have that extra little tiny bit of space. What is that, 1 or 2 blocks worth of space that they couldn't be in. I'm going to go ahead and close this off. I'll be right back. Okay, so what you can see that I've done is I've gone ahead and done 1 block wide all the way around, sticking out 2 from the body and up across the top. Now before I do the fun part, which is the face, which makes this little guy have all the personality, I'm going to go ahead and go back here and I'm going to dress out the back. And I'm going to do the first part of that off camera so that we can just finish it up, and we'll try to keep this video as short as I can. Okay, I'm ready to go ahead and finish off the back part of the sheep. I'll just go ahead and fill in with the stained glass. Now you could use regular glass here, but as you can see, it really shows up a whole lot more, and this is a more subtle look. I use the glass because the grass needs the extra light to grow. Of course, you can do that with torches, but the sheep do eat quite a bit of grass, especially if you're harvesting their wool on a regular basis. So you might want to be aware of that. And I'm going to put 1 on either side of my doors. I'm going to go ahead and drop in my doors. These are from a mod called Macaw's Doors, and I think they're doors and windows and things. But I really like these, the look of this, and I kind of like the sound of it, I have to admit. And then once I get the grass in here, I'll go ahead and put in my fencing. You could leave it open, but I have found that the sheep have a tendency to get in the way of the door, and if you're bringing in more sheep, or if you're trying to take out one sheep, that's a pain in the neck. So I find it easier just to go ahead and just close this off. You're probably aware, most everybody is by now, but I wasn't, so I'm going to tell you about it, that when you open the gate, a lot of the time the sheep will try to come through, but if you put a carpet on top of the gate, you can hop on the gate and go over, and the sheep can't follow you. That works for almost every animal. Every one that I've seen anyway. Let me go ahead and make the switch here, and we'll go to the front and finish our little sheep. So the first thing we're going to want to do for the face is we're going to go ahead and come out. Now, I did have to take some liberties with our little friend here, because the sheep, the actual sheep, have like a part of a block, and then there's part of their skin cone here as well, the skin that's on their face. It's on the side, but to do that, I would have had to make it a really thick face, and it looked really bad. So this was the compromise I could come up with, given the limitations of what they let us build and not build in Minecraft. So what we're going to do is we're going to come out 1 and we will go up in a big U around the outside. We will not finish off the bottom. Instead, we'll just put two little ones here, two blocks here on either side to kind of give him his little mutton chops. And we'll go across like this, and then we'll go down to the bottom here and give him his mutton chops on the other side. Now we're going to take that white terracotta, which isn't white, but they call it that, and we'll go across, and that's 6 across. Then we're going to skip a row and go 6 across again. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the middle there. We'll do 2 more pieces on either side of the white terracotta so that you end up with this kind of blank little mask. Then we're going to use the pink concrete to do the top part of the mouth, and the pink terracotta makes the bottom part of the mouth. Now let's give him his little derpy eyes, and we'll be all set. There's 1, and there's 2. Now I'm using black terracotta here. You could use black concrete as well, but you'll want to make sure that you use the same thing for all their eyes, because the black concrete is a slightly different color. And you wouldn't think it makes much difference, but if I give him one black eye, black concrete eye, and one black terracotta eye, you can definitely see the difference. So you want to make sure that you're consistent across the way. I think the black terracotta gives them a slightly warmer look because it's kind of a black brown, and they're a little less stark. But of course, you can make your choice however you like. And that's it, my friends. One other note that I discovered in my survival world is that even though my doors are double doors, the reason I made double doors is because getting the sheep through a single door can be difficult. You end up having to take the door off. And if you have a double door, then there's room for an entire sheep to go through. I did bring them up 1 or 2 at a time because I found that they bottlenecked and would get stuck if I tried to carry more than 1 or 2 at a time. And the other thing I discovered about my sheep when I brought them in on my survival world on a lead with wheat in my hands was that I wanted to make it wider than my door, because bringing them up, sheep have a tendency to wander, and I lost several of them when we got up to the door, and they wandered off the side and plummeted to their demise. So I made these wider than the ones in my survival world, which are only 2 wide, because I've learned from that lesson. You can use any stair, of course, that you want to. I have connected mine because then I could just bring them in and pull them all the way across as I built each sheep. Well, that's it, folks. We have 5 derpy looking adorable sheep for your viewing pleasure. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and that you have the opportunity to build your own little sheep. Until next time. Oh, let me know in the comments if there's something you'd like to see, an animal that you would like to see me build. I will be doing future updates. So, thanks so much. Have a great day. Happy crafting.